毎度、甲斐先輩です。これからよろしくお願いしますね。もし英語で喋りたかったら、これからのライブストリームを聞いてくださいね。ほとんどの日本人が多分ね、直接英語ネイティブをモノマネしたことあんまりないと思うんだよね。だからこれから俺の声を真似してください。そのままって感じですね。So, I finally found my voice. I've been listening to Kai Senpai for a while now, and I finally understand that accent is everything. And I'm glad to be here because I've really wanted to speak English for a while now, and I just don't have a lot of chances and opportunities to learn. But thanks to this live stream, I am now able to learn. This is great. This is awesome, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad that I'm learning English. I'm glad that I'm learning accent, and I'm glad that I found Kai Senpai, and I really think that he's cool. I really think that everybody should listen to Kai Senpai, by the way, and I tell all my friends about him, and I think he's really cool. He focuses on the California accent, an American accent, British accent. This kind of information is just not really taught in normal schools. So it's interesting to listen to a Kai Senpai video. And in fact, he just released one yesterday that was really interesting because there are about 10 celebrities in Japan that were born in Japan but are actually kind of like native speakers. And that's really interesting because if all of them are born in Japan and there is a diversity of genetics involved with the 10 people, then this really means that language acquisition has nothing to do with my genes. Even though I, like to wear denim, this is really good because if I got a brain and if Kai Senpai can learn Japanese, then I can learn English. You know what I mean? So I've been listening to him a lot, and I really think that everybody else should listen to him too. So, 大丈夫ですよね。こうやって英語の、声を聞いて。ね。だってさ、この間、どっかで、インスタで、すごく、レベル低い英会話レッスンの動画を見ました。ね。で、可愛い、女の人がね、I am Japanese girl みたいな喋り方で、その先生がその文法だけをやり直してったって感じで、はより、him とかさ、そういう微妙な。でも、その生徒さん、英語を聞いたことないって感じがした。大丈夫みたいな、教科書から英語のインプットして、それだけ回転して、I am, リーディングじゃなかったよね。もう頭からそういうカタカナの音が出ましたみたいなね。自然に。で、あらと思って、その、カタカナ英語から、どっから来てるかなと思って、自然な英語ネイティブの喋り方聞いたことないって明らかにね、バレたって感じですね。だからもう生徒からじゃあ英語出してみたらね、意味ある？だって母国語の時、もう英語聞いてたから英語、返事しましたって感じですね。インプット英語、アウトプット英語って感じで、日本の生徒が英語に関してもう全然聞いてないじゃん。見て勉強してるから上達できません。So I've realized that I gotta listen. And I gotta listen to real native speakers. You know what I mean? I can't listen to teachers all day. Listening to teachers is like staying in high school for the rest of your life. And I don't want to do that. I want to get out into the real world and actually talk to real people. So I want to learn real English. And now real English is really complicated because they don't teach real English in schools. They teach educational English. And so when you get out in reality and you listen to British people and American people and Australian people and New Zealand people and Indian people, and all of a sudden it's getting kind of complicated because everybody talks a little differently. And by a little differently, I mean a lot differently. So, what are we going to do? Now, that's why I follow Kai Senpai, because, you just kind of focus on one thing at a time, right? And I found that right now I'm focusing on accent, just like Kai Senpai says. I'm focusing on the California accent, just like Kai Senpai says. And I'm going to focus on the accent not by looking at something like on the screen, because that's kind of pointless, right? I'm going to listen. Not only am I going to listen, but I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to mimic that sound. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to mimic the atom of English, right? That's why I call it like the atom of English if you guys have been listening to me, but this is why it's an atom, because it's the particle. It's like the base particle of English, right? And if you can't mimic that, then you can't speak English. It's like that easy, like So, if you want to study abroad, you have to listen to the word abroad and say abroad. There is no abroad. And if you think there's an abroad, you're basically hallucinating based on the sounds that are put into your brain by your original language. Is this getting too complicated now that I speak English? You know what I mean? Sometimes I wonder, will people think that I'm strange because I speak English so goddamn fluently? Now, I understand that most people in Japan speak Japanese, but that doesn't matter to me. Now that I'm listening to Kai Senpai, I can speak English all day long. In fact, I think of it as kind of like a game where I just walk around and talk English and pretend that I'm fluent. And, it's kind of fun, but I think I can do it. You know what I mean? If you, 本当にね、もうなんだろうね。もしね、君がね、どっかの東京のスタバ、田舎のスタバでも、もう、なんだろうね。だって、ちょっとコスプレって感じで、英語できる人の演技してください。みたいなね。チャレンジだね。で、どっかのスタバ入って、Oh, hello? Hi. Just a moment. Try to act natural. 自然な、can I get just like a coffee? Really, use English in Japan. Then, because, なんだろうね、外国の訛りで話しちゃうと、外国人ですかみたいなね。そういう日系の日本人がいるんじゃない？アメリカン、ジャパニーズアメリカンとかさ、なんだろうね。本当に綺麗なアクセントで喋っちゃうと、この人は外国の方ですか？どうぞ、みたいなね。みんな、everybody's gonna be nice to me if I speak in a, accent, right? So why would I not speak English all day if I could, So why don't I give it a shot? Why don't I try? Why don't I just speak everywhere I go? To everybody that I talk to, immersing yourself in English isn't really a matter of just immersing yourself in a country. You just immerse your own brain in your own thoughts and you're done. So it's crazy because Kai Senpai basically has given away everything for free. And now that I understand how to speak English, learn English, I don't need to go to school. I don't need to read a book. And I don't need to listen to teachers at all about anything because I can speak English. I can learn English, but it's essentially you learn by doing. So I can speak English by just speaking English. And it's crazy because just like Kai Senpai, I can like make a video of myself speaking English and I can double check it later. You'd be surprised because when I listen to my video of me talking in English, I kind of like hear the mistakes that I sometimes make, or more, it's like trying to keep a consistent flow of ideas and the ums and the ahs and getting lost in the conversation. That's kind of like the most difficult part of it. But in terms of just delivering pure California English, I do that subconsciously. I do it unconsciously if you really think about it. Like there's no like effort involved in it at all. まあ日本語で考えても動力しないといけない時ありますよね。なんか理解できない時とか、なんだろうね、なんか複雑の話題になって、あらこう日本語だけになっちゃうと難しいねみたいな、まあそういう時はありますよね。でもほとんど無意識じゃない？まあ日本語でも英語でもね、僕はね、だってバイリンガルだから違うか。でも君はこうやってバイリンガルになりたかったら、やっぱりあれじゃん。アクセントやり直さないといけないから、俺の声を使ってくださいね。どうも、カイ先輩です。なんだろうね、こう、今、ライブストリームやってるんですけれども、なんかこう、英語で話して、日本語でなんか考えて、なんだろうね、みたいなね、なんか、二人がいるって感じですね。で、なんだろうな、第二言語を勉強するとき、ちょっとね、二人いるって感じですね。なんかこの大人の自分の本音の母国語の自分ね。それでこの新しい英語を喋れるようになってる、自分。で、なんかあれ、二人いるって感じですね。本当に。英語できない方が、自分の弱い方になっちゃうって感じですね。なんか自信がない方だよね。だから、英語で自信作りましょう。俺の声を、どうぞ、使ってくださいね。So, I'm pretty confident. Like, not 100% confident, but I'm pretty confident in English. I'm pretty confident because I listen a lot. You know, listening is actually really easy because you have plenty of time all day. You know, like when you wake up or you ride the train, lunch breaks, there's plenty of time to listen for hours. And I realized that one of the first things that you got to do if you really want to, become bilingual, I realized this, is that you gotta listen. You gotta actually literally listen to like real people literally talking. And not only just talking, but it really helps when they're talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to listen to a recording, and then it's another thing to actually listen to somebody call you by name, and actually talk to you. So, like, it's crazy, but, I have confidence because I've been listening so much, but I also know how to ask questions when I don't understand something. And that's been one of the most important things because it's obvious I don't understand everything. So anytime I don't understand something, I say, what's that? What's that mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You can say it like 4 different ways. What's that? What do you mean? Huh? What are you talking about? I've never heard that before. Where'd you hear that? You basically double check the information that you're hearing, because if you don't understand, you just ask again, right? So what do you mean? What's that? I've never heard of that, right? And so when you just admit that you don't understand, then the person you're talking to explains, and they usually explain it in an easy way. So there's nothing to worry about if you never understand something. You just raise your hand. You're like, hey, what are you talking about? I don't get it. Oh, that's what you mean, right? So there's this crazy kind of like confidence that I don't need to understand everything. I just need to understand enough. And I just need to understand enough for right now, basically. And right now is enough. Like, this is it. Like, what else do I got to do? Now, when I run into people, that's when things get crazy because, do people want to talk? Do they not want to talk? What kind of, what do they want to talk about? One of the crazy things is when I go down to the cafe, there's these people that are on the street that are like asking for donations. And it's like, oh God, I am not in the mood to save the bees right now. I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad. I really do. But I'm just not in the mood. I haven't not had coffee yet. And these people are loud. And they're right. But they're loud. And I don't want to talk about it right now. I literally just do not want to talk about the bees right now. Yet, when you go to the cafe, and they're just kind of like yelling at everybody that walks by. Not yelling, but like talking in a loud voice. It's just not what I want at the moment. This is not the conversation that I do not want to talk about the B's. I'd rather talk about the ABCs. 違うか. Nice segue, right? But talking about the things that I want to talk about, how could I go wrong? How can I lose? And especially right now, if I'm not talking to anybody, how can I lose? You know what I mean? I'm just practicing. I'm just working on my accent. I'm just following the right? But when I get in front of a real person, that's when I start to mimic the atom. It's crazy. If I start talking to a British person, I will slowly kind of start talking with a British accent. I might, like when I do, hear some British and I'm sitting with a British person, it's like that mate. So I start saying mate. I start saying, you reckon, like you reckon it's closed. But that's just the nature of humans. It's like this kind of natural tendency to kind of like mimic the sounds that you hear. So, you just go with the flow. If you're engaging with somebody that's British, you're going to sound maybe a little more British, but if you're talking to like a Californian, then your job's kind of totally like really easy because, you just got to like chill out a little bit when you talk and people think, oh yeah, totally right. Yeah. Because your biggest job isn't necessarily to kind of just like blah, 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 like Kai senpai, right? Like I don't have to, I keep forgetting. そうだね。今のね、英語、ちょっとずれちゃったんだよね。慣れてないよね。でこの間なんか気がついたのね。if I talk to you in English, right? That's me talking to you in English. And then you get this kind of sense that like you're getting talked to in English, right? でも、これからやろうとしてるのね。これからやりたいことね。今やろうとしてるのね。英語で話すと、その言ってる台本、セリフ、わからんけど、なんかもう自分の言葉になってるっていうことですね。そう。だから、なんだっけ、日本語でなんていうかわかんないけど、なんか third person ね、カイ先輩 in the third person の英語はちょっと変だよね。だってカイ先輩はね、結構ハンサムなね、YouTuber なんですけれども、日本語では、なんだろうね、問題ないんじゃない？カイ先輩は、YouTuber ですね。まあ自分のことなんですけれどもね。でも英語にするとね、like, if I start to talk about カイ先輩、なんか変な感じがするよ。できるんだけどね。やる人いるらしいんだけど、まあ。だから、こうやって今英語で話しちゃうとね、これ自分の英語じゃなくて、これは君の英語だよね。君が言わないといけないじゃなくて、これを言って、もう、自分のセリフになります。で、俺の内容、好きじゃなかったら自分の書いてくださいね。でもまず、これ、俺の英語を聞いて、ベースとしてね、なんか訛り アクセント、発音とかさ。で、なんか、言ってることを好きじゃなかったら、じゃあ自分のスピーチを書いてくださいみたいな。ね。でも、とりあえず貸してあげるって感じですね。That's why I like Kai Senpai. Because he's so giving. You know, like, when I listen to him talk, it's like he's trying to, like, educate, like, a million people. Like, if you've seen his videos, you know, they have, like, millions of views, right? But, you know, the real value in all of the content is getting me to talk, you know, like inspiring me to like learn the California accent. You know what I'm saying? So like, I find it super inspirational what he's doing because like, you know, you think about like the styles of English and how do you explain it? So when I see the famous people talking like a British person or talking like an American, it's like it's a way to like, oh, okay, so you talk like Koki. You talk like Harry. Like this is how accents work, you know, because I'm from Maizuru, and when I was in Tokyo once, I heard something very familiar. I heard Kansai Ben at a little cafe bar. And I was like, すみません、Maizuru no kata desu ka? I was like, I don't know. I heard an accent that was very familiar. And they were like, no, we're from Hyogo. I was like, oh, but that makes sense. Cool. Like, welcome to Tokyo. みたいなね. Like, なんだろうね. It's really cool when you really start to focus on accent, right? And so, basically, long story short, I am super grateful for Kai Senpai and him like lending his California accent to me so I can go around and practice, you know, like there's this one guy on Instagram. Instagram's so full of crap, right? But anyway, this guy was just like, I like YouTube better. This guy was like, I'm a Japanese photographer. Can I take your photo? And they're in Japan. I'm sure he looks like a Japanese person. And I just don't think there's any reason to say I'm a Japanese photographer. I don't even think there's a reason to say I'm a photographer if you're holding a camera. You know what I mean? Like the language that we use in between each other, right? Like there's a lot of obviousness that happens. And it's like, do we really got to talk about the obvious? But I feel that the Japanese education system is utterly broken. Absolutely missed the mark. I feel the Japanese education system is literally distracting all the students from the actual work that they need to do. And most of that work is outside of a classroom. I realize that I'm not going to learn in a classroom, and nor do I want to sit in a classroom. I don't want to go to school. I'm a grown man. Now, I need help. I need some lessons, but I don't need to go to a school, sit around, listen to a teacher. I just need to get out, like outside. I just need to talk to people. I just need to go to a cafe. I just need to take a little vacation. I just need to do anything but go to a school. I mean, I can even learn English by just watching YouTube. I mean, there's no reason to go to a school. All I got to do is live life. All I got to do is watch things on the internet. And all I got to do is just mimic what I listen to. And then I got to polish the O. Now, the polishing part, this is the hardest part because what do I want to say? God, there's so much I want to say. Now, what do I want to practice, though? That's the key, right? What is the phrase that I need to say? まあ、正直にね、逆に考えるとね、カイ先輩は、日本語を、まあ、今勉強してないんじゃないね。最近上達しないし、まあ、毎日使わないからな。ね、まあ、使うけどね。でも、いつもなんか動画で使っとるから、なんか発音とかイントネーションの話ばっかりやからさ、まあね、しょうがないっていうか、だって説明しないといけないって感じですね。違うか。まあまあまあまあまあ。So that's why I find it really interesting that like all I gotta do is listen and mimic and then just practice the things that I want to say. That's it. What do I want to say? And then that is the magical question that I don't know. I want to say a lot. I want to do a lot. I want to go a lot of places. But a lot of the experiences that I have, you know, as I've traveled the world, they kind of came when I like met people, talked to people. Vietnam was always interesting for me. I met Japanese people and I met Vietnamese people, right? I met a few Americans. There's always weird Americans when you travel. That's so funny. If you ever look around, weird Americans, weird British people. Wow, there's a lot of weird humans out there. And I don't need to talk to everybody. But the few experiences that I have around the world, you know, it's when you talk to somebody and have a cool conversation. I remember meeting this guy in Thailand, and he was like from Ireland, but he was like young, but he lived in Amsterdam and he did like music production engineering or something. It's so interesting because like I don't listen to Irish often, so there's that kind of aspect, but you know, he was like a sound engineer and did like sound engineering for concerts and stuff. So me being somewhat of a music guy and a performance guy, I felt like we had a lot to talk about. And we did. We talked for like hours. And so it was really fun. Now, all of these memories that I have happened in English, right? And so it's just this super like circle of life kind of thing here where I don't need anybody. Well, thanks to Kai Senpai, right? I know now that one, he's not my teacher. He's just like a YouTuber. He's just a cool guy. But the people that are really going to teach me are going to be the next 10 people that I talk to. I mean, the next 1,000 people if you really do it. Because Kai Senpai always talks about the same 3 things. He always says accent. He always says talk to 1,000 people. And he says make flashcards. And that's all you got to do. But it's so true because why would you study anything other than the thing that you actually working on, right? And so, それ言いたかったよね。だから、カイ先輩今勉強してないんだけど、たまにね、なんだろうね、この、英語カラフリガな説明したいとき、これなんていうかなっていう、時ある。ね。なんだろうね、学校でいろいろ英語の話聞いて、なんか、圧倒っていう単語ね。I have to do it in English. I'm sorry. Because I was thinking it in English, right? Because that's the way I think, right? So I was thinking, you know, is this overwhelming, right? But how do I say it in Japanese? And I never heard. See, everything that I've learned, it came from a human. Yeah, I didn't learn Japanese on the internet. I learned it in reality. So now that like I'm in California and I don't have like a Japanese person right next to me to like ask a question, like I would do that. Like if I was like at the Starbucks in it was like Kyoto or something, and I was like working on a headline, I don't know if it's 100% accurate Japanese, so I ask a Japanese person. So simple, right? I only ask when I need help. Does that make sense? And then when you really just want to know one word, then look it up. Learn that word and then memorize it. Like that polishing part, nah? That's like the real kicker that I think a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, when I listen to too much, I could feel overwhelmed. So you got to focus on the things that you want to focus on. And why would you want to focus on it? Because you want to say it. And why would you want to say it? It's because you want to talk to somebody, right? So if you don't want to talk to anybody, then why do you want to learn English? It's like you just want to read a book? You just want to watch movies or something? Now, I like movies. Everybody likes movies. Everybody likes TV shows. But I'm not going to, for me, TV, before you go to bed or something, like in the evening after dinner or something, TV is a nice way to relax. But, I'm not going to spend all day watching TV. So, as important as it is to listen, I wouldn't want to listen all day. I want to go outside. I want to listen to real people. I want to, engage with stories. I want to interact with stories, and I want to participate. I want to have fun with, the whole experience, right? And one of the cool things, because I enjoy talking to my friend, right? And we talk every week, and he talks about his business or whatever. And I do my, YouTube thing. But he's kind of like the president of his company, and he's calling the factory, and he's calling his sales people and stores and stuff. And it's, kind of like a traditional kind of business. But every once in a while, and I can't help it because he doesn't have, he's not a YouTuber, right? So a lot of my business is YouTube. But every once in a while, he'll oh, I need to take a picture or something. I'm like, oh, I can help. I can do that. I can take a picture. I'm pretty good at taking pictures. I went to college and studied photography, so I can help with that, right? So not only do I want to have a conversation and say what I want to say, but I want to be able to help, if I'm talking to somebody. So I can't help everybody, if you want to talk about Instagram or TikTok, especially, it's I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. But if there is something that I do know a lot about, one, it's obviously this California English stuff that Kai Senpai teaches me. But the other thing I know about is YouTube, right? So headlines, thumbnails, and then the most important number that anybody could possibly ever understand is the AVD. Now, if anybody heard that, then you are maybe very lucky in the sense that you could probably go out and start your own YouTube channel if you just focused on AVD. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because I don't know if you guys really want to become YouTubers or anything. So, but anyway, if you guys do want to say hi, I do want to remind you that this is live. And so I just wanted to prove things like that, just to show you guys that we can have a conversation if you want. You just got to jump in and click the little button there. 大丈夫？そうね。毎日新しい後輩が入ってくるから、こうやってライブストリームしてみんなとちょっと会話できるんじゃないと思って、会話っていうか何か質問があればね、どうぞみたいなね。で、俺のコースがあるんですけれどもね。で、もう毎週新しい後輩が登録してくれて、1週間の無料体験して、ね。それで俺のコースが良かったらみたいなね。だからもう、質問があればね、どうぞ聞いてください。で、ちょっと報奨かな。だって、カイ先輩のすべてのことを聞いて、この カリフォルニアアクセントの教材がいいねと思って、もう本当にもう聞くだけでもう勉強になるから、だってどうやって聞くか、どうやって使うかって、まあその教材に入ってるからさ、だから本当に何か質問があればね、どうぞ聞いてくださいね。Because there's not a lot of questions anymore. Once you understand the 3 steps, then your goal is really to listen to your voice, and then kind of focus on the sound that it's making and the accent that it's making. And I think a lot of people get too caught up with like the eyes, and they're looking at what's English, right? But that's why I am focusing, thanks to Kai Senpai. I'm just going to focus on my voice sounding like a Californian and sounding kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, if you just practice how you talk, you could totally sound like, well, this, right? So, my name's like, what, Hiroshi? Like, my name's like Taka, like there's so many cool ways to say it. Like, if you just focus on the sound, right? Like, now, my name could be anything, because I'm just a human, right? Now, if I focus on my voice like this, and I just pay attention to like how it sounds, how can I go wrong? I can just get better every single time I do it. Honestly, I think about recording my voice every single day. And to be honest, I listen to my voice too much. I mean, personally, right? But listening to my voice like this is super powerful because now I'm paying attention to what it sounds like. And if it sounds boring, sad, just dry, or what if it just sounds weak and I'm just like mumbling? Like, nobody likes that, Like, nobody wants to hear me. Or wait, that would be like an interesting channel, right? If I just kind of mumble the whole thing. Like, who would listen to this? This is such bullshit. Like, who would sit around and sit on a mic and just talk like this, right? Like, it's like, oh my God, like, I'm just mumbling. So, like, literally listening to my voice and hearing it with my ears, I can now begin to shape it. I can craft it. I can change it. I can do anything I want. I don't have to be Japanese. I can be whatever I want. I'm a human on a planet, hurtling through a void, apparently, according to the latest YouTube video. I mean, we're in the middle of this void in between these cosmic clusters, these galaxy clusters, and possibly the laws of physics are different in this void. Haven't you heard the news? So what's the point? What are we doing? Why are we even learning English at all if there's nobody to talk to? This is why I kind of say that like this AI shit is a bunch of bullshit. I didn't learn any language on a computer, and I don't need a computer other than maybe a telephone to talk to you. Hello? Can you hear me now? Because like, that's all I need. There's a phone. I don't need an app. Well, okay, I need a dictionary. I have a free dictionary. You guys can download that, of course. But like, it's kind of like, hello, Earth, wake up. You don't need a telephone even to learn a language. But if you don't have anybody in your village, then a telephone might help. The internet might help. So, I understand that it's a complicated world. And there is a good possibility that there's nobody to talk to in English in your neighborhood. So therefore, coming to the internet makes sense. But I am very certain that a lot of it's just bullshit. I've been listening to Kai Senpai for a while now, and I realize that in this moment, yes, it's helpful. But for my future, I got to get out there and talk to real people. I got to talk to at least 10 people, but hopefully by the time I die, 1,000 people. That should be a good life. That should be a life well lived. I mean, I've talked to over 10,000 Japanese people. I'm sure of it, and that's been pretty cool. It's been pretty fun. And it is always interesting to talk to Japanese people, no matter what city I'm in. I've met Japanese people in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Bangkok, Da Nang, Vancouver, Hollywood, Sedona, like all around the world. And it's like totally cool, whatever, right? But there is such a bigger world out there. I am much more than any of this. And a lot of people don't seem to understand, I don't want to say like transcendence or anything like that, but this kind of like global consciousness. And now it's weird if you guys watch the new video that Kai Senpai released, right? There's a lot of bilingual people in the video. And I am very aware now that these bilingual people are not exactly like monolingual people. They're different. And I feel, having listened to like Shelley or Harry, right? I'm not as fluent as they are in Japanese, but as far as like the bilingual mindset, like, yeah, I mean, I got my opinions too, but like, I definitely have some sort of like, connection, I would say. I feel like a more of a connection with bilingual people than monolingual people. Now, monolingual people aren't bad. It's just like, but there's so much more in the world, just like video games, movies, cuisine, culture, like food, and there's just so much, right? Why spend all of your life in one language? And I have the same, 正直にね、英語しかできないアメリカ人ね、かわいそうと思うよ。俺の親とかさ、俺の家族とかさ。なんだろうね。しょうがないっていうか、みんな自由だから、選んだ道をどうぞ、みたいなね。でも俺、ね、このバイリンガルになりたい道、自分で選びました。で、こうやって成功してきて、ガッツポーズして、後悔してない。ね。で、別にもうみんな日本語勉強した方がいいよ、みたいな、そういうじゃなくて、ただな、自分の世界観がね、広げて、なんだろうね、いろいろ見えるよね。自分の国でもね。なんだろうね、日本住んでからアメリカのいろいろなんか明かしましたって感じですね。なんだろう。みんなバイリンガルになった方がいいと思うよ。And that's why I'm practicing English. Because basically, I want to get better, and there's plenty in this world to do. And I need to get out there and do it. I need to talk to like 1,000 people ASAP. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny because like Kai Senpai says, oh, you got to get out there and like talk to like 1,000 people, right? Well, for me as a human, I don't really gotta, how do you say this? I don't need to talk to like 1,000 people to practice my English, but I could make a YouTube video of like 1,000 people. That might be interesting, right? So I interviewed 1,000 people and they all failed the English test, or like 1,000 people fail. No, excuse me, 1,000 Americans fail an English test. Like that would be interesting, I think, right? So for me, in my personal, what do you call this? Ambition or mission, is that for me, everything's about next video, right? So for you guys, everything's about next conversation. I hope that makes sense. Like if anything, like if you learned anything at all from listening to Kai Senpai, you should know that the only thing you really need to do is have a conversation. So have you done it yet? Have you listened to, have you joined a conversation. Now, joining a live stream is one thing, but like literally getting into some sort of a conversation. Have you done it this week? Have you done it recently? And if you haven't, well, that's what you got to do. You got to stop studying English. Man, もう申し訳ないよね。なんだろうね。なんか、こうやってやりたくないよね。その喋り方がね。だから、今英語で喋ってるよね。で、英語でもうこうやんないといけないよ、みたいなね。まあそういうなんかまあ教えたいと思うんですけれども、なんだろう、英語で言ってもなんか通じない可能性があるから、なんだろうね、逆に、なんだろう、so, I いろいろ気がついてる自分ね。I gotta change things. I gotta have a conversation with as many people as possible. I gotta talk to 1,000 people. Luckily, I can, spread this out over a year or 2 years or 3 years. But if I just focus on talking to people for like 3 years, right? In 3 years, I can probably become really fluent in English. I mean, like really fluent. I mean, you think my English is good now? It's going to get even better after I talk to 100 or 200 or 300 people, right? So my goal is to talk to 1,000 people. Kai Senpai's goal is to maybe make a video with like 1,000 people. You know what I mean? Everybody should have a goal, and it should be helping other people. So I like to help other people by making videos, right? And I know that everybody has their own way of helping people. It's crazy. Like even my buddy who has, he has a cigar company, but he helps people by giving them luxury, and it's a crazy thing to sell luxury, but the experience of it is super important. Helping people relax is super important. Giving people something to look forward to is super important. There's so many ways in which, we can help people, but for me, I do it by making a video. That's like the number one skill. Well, besides conversation, I'm pretty good at that. But that aside, because my next mission, my next stage, my future really depends on making the next video. Now, the next video could be anything you want. That's the crazy thing. The next video is going to be about, obviously English, but it's going to be about something where 1 million people could totally understand what's going on, kind of like educational. So, man, 難しいよね。この、third party の喋り方でね、俺の声を貸してあげるみたいなね、面白いと思うんですけれども、どうですかね。こうやって話すとなんか勉強になるかな。I'll try it again. So, listening to Kai Senpai like this is really good for my listening and for my accent. I understand that when I listen to his voice, I can talk just like him. I can talk exactly like a Californian, even though I'm Japanese. You see, here's the thing that I don't think a lot of Japanese people realize. I'm Japanese, and I talk like this. Any questions? This is the confidence that I think that every Japanese person should have. Now, they don't have to necessarily all talk like cool Californians. They could talk like Koki. They could talk like Harry. They could talk like Shiori, right? Do you see why I make the videos like this? So they can talk however they want, but I choose to talk with like a California accent. And I choose to be like a Japanese person who talks like a Californian. That's just how, honestly, one of the, call it maybe like a dream, but I always thought of like a dream girl would be a Japanese girl with a British accent. To me, it really is like fantasy. Like when you watch Game of Thrones or even like a historical drama on Rome, you know, they've all got a British accent. And so every American can hear a British accent and maybe understand it, you know, maybe mimic it, but it's definitely a bit of, you know, wizardry. You know, I feel like creating a magic spell, and it does feel unnatural, not gonna lie. But if you could do it, then do it. Hold on. So, どうですか？こう英語聞いてなんかモノマネできましたか？まあ、今日はね軽くしたいと思うよね。なんでかというと本当に最近昨日アップロードした動画、その、10人の日本生まれの芸能人の動画ね、あれ結構疲れたから本当にもう休憩したいって感じですね。でもまあ今日ちょっと約束的にまあライブストリームやんないといけないっていうか、まあやんないといけないでも楽しみしてたよ。この英語を貸してあげるみたいなレッスンはいいと思うよ。本当に。ただ、なんかまあ自分の人生に合わせるのが難しいっていうか、まあだから一般的に誰でも言える英語を貸してあげるみたいなね。I want to learn English. I want to learn California English, right? You know, honestly, I think that like California English, I mean, it's cool, but it's definitely like a global, friendly language, you know? Like, and everybody knows, like, come on, like, everybody knows California is like the peaceful, cool place, right? So, it's super weird, but like, you don't know till you try. And so, like, try, you know what I mean? Just like, literally try to talk with a California accent no matter what and just see what happens, you know? Like 逆にアメリカ英語の日本語の訛りで話すのが難しいなんだろうね、自分の喋り方も決まってるって感じやからさ、わざと外国人らしくして難しいよ。外人ならどうやって言うかわからん。だから外国人の日本語聞くとなんか笑っちゃうよね。俺はね。上手ですねとか言っちゃうね。だってさ、多いよ。もう俺は何3ヶ月日本語喋れるようになりましたみたいな動画とかいっぱいあるよ。で、あの人の日本語を聞いて、あらって感じ。なんか、まあ悪くないんだけどね。僕の日本語は素晴らしいみたいな喋り方で、なんか自信持って、ああ、すごいね、みたいな。でも、結構不自然だよね。違うか。でも、だからお政治の問題ってあれなの。フィードバックちゃんともらえないと上達できまへん。お上手とか、そうやってすぐ外国人の日本語を褒めてあげるとなんかもう、ね、コンプレックスになるよ。コンプレックスっていうか、なんか現実をちょっとずれちゃうって感じですね。あ、自分の日本語がうまいんだって。みんな言うから。違うか。Oh, hey, there's some people here. It says, 右じゃなくて石ね。こんにちは。そうだよね。日本語で言われると、なんだろう、日本語モードになっちゃうんですね。でも、Mickey's piano from America is like speaking in English, and now he's got a crown. Mickey's got a crown. Mickey って、like, Mickey sounds like a girl if it's Japanese, but like, if it's English, then Mickey sounds like a boy, because, you know, Mickey Mouse is a boy. Anyway, And then you guys got crowns on your... I still don't totally understand what the crowns means, but it says Ishii-san is number 1 and Mickey's number 2. So I don't know. However you got to compete to get up to number 1, like do your best, all right? But anyway, you watched my latest video. Yeah, cool. Thank you. And guess what? That video was super long. It was like 32 minutes. And it's totally like a gamble in the sense that like making a long video, well, is it takes a lot of time basically. And I didn't intend to make a 30-minute video. I was trying to make like a maybe 15-minute video, but I wanted to try something because if you look at the video, like I'm doing a lot of the writing, you know, with my pen on the iPad. I didn't connect the iPad today because, like I said, I'm lazy. I spent like a whole week writing everything out, coloring it in, and then like editing wasn't so bad because I'm doing it on my more powerful Mac these days. That was one of the big problems, is that my laptop was like way too slow to be editing. What do you call it? 1080. Do you guys know 1080? Anyway, the resolution. So anyway, it took a lot of effort to make the video. So I am kind of like literally exhausted, but I'm glad you watched it. Thank you. Koki's English native. I like Koki's native, but you analyze English close to native. That's interesting. Yeah, so that's just the that's why I thought this video was going to be interesting, because there was going to be people that were obviously, I think, like, I mean, you listen to the English, it's like, oh, they're literally American, right? Like Sumire, I think, really, I mean, most of them, right? There's just a few where it's like, oh, wait a second. だってさ, it's, I mean, that's why I say, like, with Koki, so what did she say? She was talking about the past, right? They were filming in Edinburgh. It was cold, and you can tell it was cold because, you know, they had tears coming down their eyes, right? I forget the exact phrase, but she just got the grammar wrong, which isn't totally like, ooh, you can't speak English, but it's just slight enough that it's like, well, being bilingual is difficult, and where do you draw the line? But it's basically native. It's just that her Japanese is probably more stronger, if you know what I mean. That's it. Like, it's basically like we're arguing over nothing. Basically, it's like her Japanese is like here max, and her English is like here almost max. So, you know, compared to normal people, it's basically native. But compared to like a person that only speaks English, you know what I mean? Like that much, which is not something to worry about for anybody. This is just like an entertainment video, right? So, oh wait, Mickey, did you become number 1? Wow. I think you become number 1 by asking questions or something. Like, I tried to understand, and YouTube was all like, oh, they can get points or something if they, I was like, I didn't understand. So anyway, I guess you're the number 1 fan now. Thank you. So how much do you understand our English with rich or thick Japanese? That's a big concern for Japanese. I know, and that's why I make the video, because I'm used to it. Escalator, stadium, like, at first, those are all words that were like, what? Like, I just got used to it. So I don't have a problem with katakana eigo. In fact, I can speak like Japanese person in English class. だって俺2年5組だからさ、俺。 東舞鶴高等学校やから、なんかそういう人いたからね、真似できる。なんか逆に。Anyway, so for other people, なんか海先輩以外、なんか海先輩じゃない、外国人、多分ね、もうカタカナ英語を聞いて、ちょっと聞きづらいっていうか、理解できない時あるよ。ある。毎日ある。もう、本当にもう、なんだろうね。細かいだけどね。例えば、いつもカフェだけどね。だってカフェいつもなんか、俺と関係ない人の話の会話を聞こえちゃうって感じで、なんだろう、この間、1ヶ月前ぐらい、なんか、ちょっと珍しく、日本人が、カリフォルニアのカフェに入ってきて、で、なんか、Do you want the beans ground? とか聞かれたのね、そのスタッフからね。Do you want the beans ground? で、その日本人のお客さんが、ね、全然理解できなかったのね。みたいな。What? みたいな。もうほんと3回くらい説明。Do you want to be ground? Do you want the beans like grind up? Like, 2025年だよね。だから俺、もうしつこく、アクセントだよね。だって通じないよ。で、それを言っちゃうのがね、なんか俺がひどくなっちゃうんだよね。でもこれはフィードバックだよね。お世辞じゃなくて、フィードバックだよね。英語の、なんだろう、2たす2イコールみたいな言語も、なんだろうね。Like, if you see in the video, who was it? Sitting in the seats. マギさんが、I was sitting in your seat って言ったのね。which is fine. でも、普通の日本人のカタカナ英語にしたら、sitting in your seat って言うよね。sit とか sit の区別できない人多いでしょ今でも。で、それを100回言っても、100回、2000回、もう20年とか言ってもね、なんかそのアクセントに関して、なんだろう、アクセントが悪い、発音が悪いっていう、なんだろう、ちょっと考えがあかん。アクセントが発音悪いって、いや、違うよ。なんか全然単語言っちゃってるっていうことですね。like shit in your sheet. 発音悪いじゃなくて、いや、違う単語を言ってしまったから、0ポイントだよね。だから、発音をしっかりしてくださいって感じですね。本当に。Number 3, Fuda, you're laughing. I know, I'm going off, right? Just like, like literally, like, no, and it's funny because like, 京都に行った時、京都の、スタバからなんかもう編集してて、なんかテーブルに座ってた女の子が、発音の勉強してたのね、ちょうど。で、なんか、発音勉強してるよね、みたいなね。で、何か質問あるみたいなね。でも発音難しいって、だから本読んでるからって、なんだろう、当たり前な話、俺にはね、だって海先輩だから、まだ知らないのって感じですね。だから本当に発音が悪いとか、いや悪いじゃなくて、もうあかんって。全然違うやから、もうしっかり音に関して英語を勉強しましょうね。スペルはどうでもいい。逆に、それも動画に出したんだけど、スペルはできないよ、俺。パソコンが直してくれる、いつも。だから、レストランとかさ、もうスペル本当にどうでもいい。喋れるから。でも逆に、日本人がスペル詳しいんやけど、 おしゃべりができない。ね、だから、それがおかしい。それは本当にもう逆って感じで、もうやり直しましょう。まあ、こういうライブストリームやりながら、ね、そういう教科書の次元から音の次元に移動しましょう。大丈夫ですか？ Talking all this Japanese. It's getting hot in here. Summertime. So I'm going to be wrapping it up. I have to because it's just going to be a casual day. And like, I really do appreciate you guys coming out. And I want to do more. And hopefully in the fall, there's going to be a lot more happening. But in the meantime, you saw the video that I uploaded. I appreciate it. I hope that you watch. If you haven't seen it yet, please do watch it. And anybody that wants to check out theだってカイ先輩の無料体験もあるからね。で、それを見たかったら、まず俺の3ステップ学習法を、ぜひご覧くださいね。で、その3ステップ学習法が、まあ、こちらの、動画ですね。これは面白いよ。この動画ね。もういろいろ説明してるから、それをまずね、もしバイリンガルになりたかったらね、話し言葉の英語ネイティブ解読したかったらね、その動画をご覧ください。ほら、自分のミスやり直したじゃん。うまいじゃん。違うか。Okay, so then, oh yeah, What's this? It says, the words that get our mind shrinking. Yeah, because it sounds like looking down. I know, but that's the thing. It's just literally, I don't understand what you're saying. And I've had to say that to people. I've said it to Australian before. Or no, a New Zealand person. I was like, I can't understand your accent, man. So, yeah. And then, people don't like, it's like, what do you mean you don't speak English? Like what? There is kind of like a, what? Everybody speaks English kind of attitude. So if you get like somebody that's kind of like not patient, it does make it more difficult. I know, but hopefully that's just motivation. だってこの外人何言っとるかわからへんって言われたとき、なんだろうね、そのファイトのしっぴりとかちょっと出ましたよね。勉強しなきゃと思って。まあ、so, I'm sorry people are mean, but just use it as fuel to your fire so you have a passion for getting your accent down and being able to talk to people without, getting that, We have to practice real person face to face. Yeah, exactly. See, and that's the kind of attitude and that's the kind of things that you got to say. You have to say, hey, we got to practice face to face. We got to, actually have conversations, not just about listening for an hour straight, but it's like listening and then you talk, you say something. I'll listen. It's your turn. Yeah, I just heard the birds outside because, reality, internet, weird. But like I said, I got to get going, guys. So I'll be here next week. I'll see you on the live stream. Don't know about my upload schedule because we'll see. And for all of the new members to my free trial and to my system, welcome. Like I always say, if you have any questions, just ask. All right. And you have my email. We have each other's email because when you get the free trial, I send all the lessons by email and you'll be getting, when you start the free trial, you'll get lessons like day 1, day 3, day 5, day 6, and I think day 7 too. So like you get all of the material in a week, all for free, all on email. And literally, if you have questions, you just email me. Like, hey, which one should I listen to? Whatever. But, like I said, if you just listen, it explains everything. So even then, if you still have any questions, just ask. Like, how do I meet people? Like, it could be about anything. And that's why we're here, is to like literally talk through this so that we can actually get better, right? And hopefully, with some practice. Because, like right now, I have 200 people who have tuned into this. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. I am glad that 200 people have been bored enough or inspired enough to learn English. And so I appreciate that, right? But, hopefully in the future, maybe 1,000 people show up and that would be cool too. But I think that's going to happen when I get to Japan because I want to move the live stream to the evening time. One of the big problems is the time difference, so I don't want to get into that right now. But yeah, it's about time for me to go to bed. Well, not bed, but it's nighttime. So I'm going to get going. And what do you think about the recent Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm doing all this is because the AI, there's definitely going to be advantages to using AI for certain things, but I really mean that. Certain things, not everything. And you will never, look, the second you start talking to robots, it's done. It's over. This is human-based education. This is human definition, as I like to call it. And humans need humans. So let's not lose focus, all right? Because, like I said, there's certain things the app might be useful. Like, for example, I made an app, but it's a dictionary because that's literally all you need. Other than maybe pronunciation practice, but apps that I hear, they're just kind of meh. The one video I did with Kevin's English, and it was oh, you have Spanish influence. It was bullshit. So yeah, I don't believe the AI shit. And so, and you don't need to either because you literally don't need it. You literally do not need AI because for 100,000 years, at least 300,000 years, if not more, humans have been communicating in language. So you don't need AI. Duh. I no disrespect because everybody's curious about AI and I use AI, but I use AI for looking at statistics, that's something I can't do. I'm not good at with math. I'm good with language. So anyway, AI has uses. I'm not saying stop AI. I'm just saying in terms of learning a language, all you got to do is talk to a human and then write a flashcard down and then mimic. You literally got to use the language. If not, you might as well just have AI fucking translate everything, Just why even bother learning a language? AI can just translate everything in real time. So just give up, if you're using AI to practice English, just give up. Just talk to it, make a chat bot, make it into a anime girl, and just never talk to another human again. Because why? Why even try? Like I said, the whole point of English, well, one, besides just, getting your thoughts in order, is to communicate with other people. But anyway, yeah, human-based definition there. Thanks. But that's what I think. So anyway, Mickey says, this is time, useful place. I'll be a good time. You meet you. Have a good night, Kai-senpai. Thank you so much. Yeah, because like I said, time difference sucks. And I would be more, I could do a lot more in Japan if I had a visa, but that's a whole other subject because I can only get 3 months at a time. But if I stack everything, maybe I can get 6 months. So it's just still complicated stuff, but I'll see you guys soon. And again, thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed listening to the English. And I've also put there's the link, but if you do want to join the free trial, listen to my course, the California English course, watch that video, get the San-step Gakushuho down, and then if you need more help, that's where the course comes in. So guys, take it easy, have a good one, peace out, and I will talk to you soon. All right, thanks guys, bye-bye, have a good one. And Mickey's number 1. Fuda, number 2. Kuni, number 3. Yeah, it's very... Oh, I didn't notice that one, Kuni. Thank you. But yeah, it's feedback. This is super important. That's where the app comes in to play a little bit, where the app can give that feedback. But like I said, not really reliable. Not that I've seen. And so not worth my time or attention, honestly. My time and attention is better spent directly with you. So guys, take it easy. Have a good one. Peace out. In stream.